What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with 5 reasons to buy the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G 2024. So without further ado, let's get started. Now there's a lot of things to like about the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G 2024, but here in this video, I want to go over my top 5 favorites. Now the first thing I want to go over is the actual build quality of this device, because I'm very impressed. Now keep in mind, the G Stylus 5G 2024 is meant to be kind of a lower, mid-range device. It does have an MSRP of $399, but in many places, people are paying a lot less than even that for the phone. For example, if you get it through a carrier, you might be spending maybe even nothing for the phone. I know that at Metro by T-Mobile, for example, they're offering this phone for free if you port in from another carrier. So the point is, this is meant to be a somewhat low-end device. But on the other hand, the build quality here is actually really good. Now the build materials aren't necessarily the most premium out there, considering that the side rails, for example, on this device are made of plastic, but on the back of the phone, we're getting this material called vegan leather. So it's not real leather, but I wouldn't expect that on a smartphone. But I love this material in the sense that it doesn't pick up any fingerprints. It does kind of feel like leather, but at the same time, it is very durable. So it's really hard, honestly, to justify putting a case on this device just because of how great it looks without one. But I really like how everything's kind of a matte finish here, so there's really not much of a glossy finish anywhere. I suppose maybe on the far sides here, but the problem is with glossy finishes is that they pick up quite a few fingerprints, so any phone that I've used that has them, I generally don't like. So I really like the choice of materials here with the Moto G Stylus 5G 2024. My next favorite thing about this phone is its signature feature, which is the stylus. So the stylus here features a pop-out, pop-in design, and what I like too about it is that despite this phone having a built-in stylus, it's not like the device is thicker or anything else to accommodate that. If anything, if you find yourself pretty much never using the stylus, but only in certain situations, such as signing a document, for example, it's not like the stylus is annoying to have here in the device. Most of the time, I actually forget that there even is a stylus here in the phone. So I think this was an excellent implementation by Motorola. But basically, once you take the stylus out of the device, you'll get this pop-up menu here on the side. You have options for writing a note. You can take a screenshot. You can create a GIF or GIF image. You can also add in other stylus-friendly applications. You can pretty much choose any app that you want and add it into this side shortcuts menu when you pull the stylus out of the phone. But keep in mind, in the Play Store, there are tons of various stylus-optimized applications, drawing apps, all kinds of different apps where the stylus can really come in handy when paired up with those applications. So you can certainly add those in addition to Motorola's default stylus-friendly apps here. But I also like how with the stylus, you can even use it for general navigation. So maybe your fingers are really greasy, for example. Not that you want to get the stylus greasy either, but you can definitely use the stylus to navigate around the phone without actually having to touch the phone. So I'm definitely a big fan of that, but let's write a note right now and give it a try here. So I'm going to write my name, Kevin. Now, it's not the most advanced stylus ever, but at the same time, it still is decently responsive. And I like that you can certainly do a nice drawing here with the stylus or really do anything else that you'd want to do. So you can even change the color, you can change the type of pen that you're using as well. So lots of different features available here. Now I know that the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra also has a stylus and it's way more advanced. But what I recommend doing is, if you're not even sure if you're going to use a stylus with your smartphone, whether or not that feature is even important to you, this is a great phone to start with. And if you find yourself using the stylus a lot, then maybe the next time you need an upgrade, you can then justify going for something a bit more expensive, such as the S24 Ultra, or whatever latest flagship smartphone Samsung has that has a stylus in it. So basically, this is almost like a little baby S24 Ultra. My third favorite thing about this device definitely has to be the display. Now this time around, with the 2024 model of the G Stylus 5G, we're getting a very big upgrade here with the display. So the previous generation had an IPS LCD display, but this time around, we're getting a POLED panel here. So we are getting that same 120Hz refresh rate, so really nice and fast refresh rate here with the device. But switching over to POLED really gives us a lot of various advantages. For example, we're getting way richer colors. The phone also gets a lot brighter. We're also getting better viewing angles too. And there's pretty much no downsides with having POLED, so this is typically a type of display technology we'd find with much more expensive devices than this one. So I'm glad to see that premium features like that are now making its way over to more affordable devices, such as this device. Now my fourth favorite thing about this phone has to be the performance of it. So we're getting 8GB of RAM paired up with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 processor. Now the predecessor to this device also has the Gen 1, so it is a bit interesting that we're getting the same processor going from one generation to another, but the good news is the Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 is still a very great processor, so it runs very smoothly here. We're getting pretty much near flagship level performance with the device. Now I did run a benchmark test using Geekbench 6, and I'll show you the scores in that test right now. But essentially, I got a single core score of 924 and a multi-core score of 2794. So what I recommend doing is running this test on your current phone and then compare your scores to these scores to see how this device compares to what you currently have. Because you certainly would not want to upgrade to the G Stylus 5G 2024 and find that it's actually slower than the phone that you have right now. But I have a feeling for a lot of people, they're going to be very happy here with the performance. And another nice thing too is that Motorola has done a great job optimizing Android to work really well with the hardware here on the device. So overall, it's a very seamless experience here. Everything runs super smooth, and I really couldn't ask for this phone to be any better performance-wise. And then the final feature that I want to highlight here with the Moto G Stylus 5G 2024 definitely has to be the various cameras. Now we're getting two cameras in the back, and we're getting one front-facing camera featured in this hole punch here up top. And basically we're getting a lot of different camera features. So heading over to the camera app, you can see here's how things look right now. So we have a 50 megapixel main camera and a 13 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. So here is the main camera. Now if you do want to actually capture photos in that full 50 megapixels, you can actually go down to the More tab here, and then from there go to Ultra Res, and then now you can actually capture photos in 50 megapixels. But then heading back over to here, you can see there's other options too. There's spot color, for example, so you can actually pick certain colors, and then from there you can record a video and it'll just keep that one color. But there's tons of other features here to try out as well. I really like this one called Dual Capture. So basically you can capture a video with both the rear and front cameras at the same time. You can even switch around here if you want one of them to be bigger and the other to be smaller. So that's really useful. But then from the main camera here, we can go over to 0.5 to access the ultra wide. And with the ultra wide camera, we can fit a lot more content here into a single frame. Now, even though this phone doesn't actually have a macro camera, there is a macro mode. So you can go to this flower right here, and it activates the macro mode. So you can get very close up. So you can see you can get very close up and things are in really good detail here. So even though there is no dedicated macro camera, it is using the other cameras here on the device to assist with that. And then this phone does support 4K video recording for both the rear and front-facing cameras, so that's nice. And then we're also getting portrait mode here for both the front and rear cameras as well. So if you do want to take those nice selfies with blurred out backgrounds, like you can see right here, you do that ability, and you can even tap right here to do a group selfie so it crops out slightly. So I just appreciate that with the Moto G Stylus 5G 2024, even though this phone is not a flagship phone by any means, we're still getting a bunch of different camera features. So overall, I think this phone is one of the best values out there right now if you don't want to spend too much money, but you still want a really good usable smartphone that will last for quite a while. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed me highlighting these various benefits of going to the Moto G Stylus 5G 2024. As I mentioned before, there are many other things about it that I like as well. I like that there's a big battery here. I like that it can recharge pretty fast. Wireless charging is also a great feature too. So again, there are many things to like here about this phone. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. But this is Kevin here, and I will see you in the next one. Take care and have a great rest of your day.